Oh man, what is going on, everybody? What is happening? Welcome back to the Nick from Australia YouTube channel. It is Sunday night, 8:20 p.m. and what a weekend I have had. In case you guys don't know, I was in Perth over the weekend. I went to the game between the Rabbitohs and the Cowboys yesterday. I got back early this morning. And you can probably tell by, you know, facial expressions, the way I look. I am bloody tired. I am bloody exhausted. I am jet lagged. I need more sleep. I've only had like 4 hours sleep probably. And yeah, my voice is gone kind of like it's not in a good way, to be honest. Not in a good way. But what a fantastic weekend. Like one of the best weekends I've ever experienced, to be honest. If your NRL team ever plays in Perth, I would strongly suggest do everything you can to get over to Perth. Like it is an incredible place, a great city, a fantastic stadium. Optus Stadium is unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. Now, as in terms of rugby league games, it's definitely not a rugby league ground, but it did pretty well for a rugby league game yesterday. Like I thought it was good for a rugby league game. As in terms of stadiums, it's probably the best stadium I've ever been to. It probably is. So I had a great time. I'm exhausted now, so I wanted to come on here tonight and talk about the game. Obviously not for too long because like I said, I'm tired as man. But Optus Stadium is something else. But yeah, I do want to review the Rabbitohs Cowboys game. I do want to go into it a little bit. But first, I want to say hello to the live chat, man. Oh yeah. Hello to the live chat. Hello to Cody. Hope you're well, Cody. And yeah, Friday in Perth was hot. It was hot. It's like 34 degrees. Thought I was in friggin' Townsville, to be honest. Hello, Luke Melbourne Storm fan. Hello to Josh Sami. Jason Reeder is here. Hello to Darren. Lockie. Hello, Lockie. Hello to Ali as well. Gene and Rishi, as always, in the chat. Will Pearson. Hello, Will. Jeffrey as well. Everyone that's watching. Hope you guys are all doing well, man. Hope everyone's doing well. Now, the first thing I want to say as well before I get into my thoughts and my opinion and the review of the game, I want to give a massive shout out to the Borough. The Rabbitohs faithful, I thought they were very kind. As a fan base, they were very nice. They weren't terrible like certain other fan bases in the past, and the Rabbitohs fans were really respectful. So I've got nothing but respect for the Rabbitohs fan base. I think they do a great job in their own right in the way they do things, especially when they play in Sydney. And even on the road as well, they do a lot of great things as well. So shout out to Josh and the Borough and everyone involved in that department. Shout out to them, man. Very nice people, man. Want to just show a bit of love and respect for them, guys. It was good to bump into them and have a bit of a chat. And shout out to the Borough, man. Very good fan base. Now, the other thing I want to give a massive rap to is I want to give a massive rap to all the Cowboys fans. There were so many of us there in Perth. I didn't expect that sort of turnout. Now, I knew that the Cowboys away bay had been sold out, and that was fantastic. But the bays next to us, like the Cowboys away bay was bay 110, but you had bays like 109, 111, 112, 107. They were packed full of Cowboy supporters. And I know that people watching the game, they were telling me that you could hear the Cowboys chant very well on TV. You could hear the Cowboys fans. You could hear a lot of good things going on. Obviously, I was seen on TV as well a couple of times, which was pretty cool. So massive shout out to all the Cowboys fans. I do now know that we do have quite a few fans based in Perth, which I wasn't aware of. So shout out to all the Cowboys fans from Perth. Like that was insane, man. Absolutely insane. And to all the ones that travelled, like for example, Callan, my co-host on the podcast, he travelled from friggin' Cairns. He flew from Cairns all the way to Perth. And you got um, I met one Cowboys fan that flew from I flew from Adelaide. A couple flew from Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, all over the shop, man. So shout out to the Cowboys supporters, man. We were loud. We were probably the loudest fan base there. And I'm not trying to sound cocky by saying that, but for a team from North Queensland up there in Townsville in the Cowboys, we travelled a long way, man, and we had probably the loudest fan base out of all the teams that were there in Perth. So very proud of that, man. Now, before we get into the review, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate that, guys. Like and subscribe to the channel, man. That is very important. Very, very important. Cannot stress about that enough. But let's get into the game, man. I know there was some terrible referee decisions that a lot of people are upset about, and we will get into that. But let's go through the game itself. Now, shit. It was a really bizarre start to the game. The Cowboys had a captain's challenge in the first minute and a half, and me and Khan were like, "Why are they challenging so early?" And then they must have been very confident, and they were, and we ended up getting it. The captain's challenge was successful and whatnot. First 15 minutes, there were a few errors on both sides. Both sides were a bit scrappy. I think the field had a lot to do with it, obviously playing on an oval-shaped field compared to what you would play at a cool stadium or at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. So it was definitely a different field and a different style of football, the way teams had to play and adjust. So it's a little bit different. There was a penalty early on for the Cowboys. I think, who was it? Was it Jai Gray, Jai Arrow? I can't remember who it was. There was a penalty early on. Drinkwater took the 2 points. Cowboys go up 2-0 early on. And then I think there was a penalty given from Kai O'Donnell, the leg pull. I think it was a leg pull. I'm trying to remember who it was on. But anyway, Rabbitohs get their opportunity, and Ewan Aiken goes over for the first try of the game on his South Sydney Rabbitohs debut. Good to see Ewan Aiken back in rugby league, playing some footy. First game for the Rabbitohs. He looked good out there in the centres. He scored a nice try there for them. Rabbitohs go to 4-2 after 20 minutes into the game. And like I said, there was a few errors on both sides, a couple of six-agains and whatnot. And then right before half-time, the Cowboys go down that left-hand side, which they've been scoring a lot of points down lately. Jackson Purdy gets a nice pass onto Murray Talangi, who ends up scoring in the corner. Very nice try there from Murray Talangi. Cowboys go in front at 6-4. Now we get to half-time, and it's 6-4 in favour of the Cowboys. And I thought to myself at half-time, it's a scrappy game. Both sides made a few errors, but the thing with the Cowboys' errors were we kept opening the Rabbitohs up, especially on the edges. I think Purdy made a few breaks down the left-hand side. Robson made several line breaks through the middle of the field. I think there was one, maybe Griffin Neem, Cohen Hess made a bit of a line break there at one point as well. Maybe even Tom Dearden from memory. And we just weren't finishing off opportunities in the first half. It was a scrappy first half. And, it was just, there was a lot of crappy errors in that first half. And I thought to myself, if the Cowboys fix up these errors, and they turn them into points. The Cowboys look like the better team at the moment. Now, I will say about the Rabbitohs, they wouldn't go away. They would not go away. They fought to the end. Second half begins. I think there was a penalty given away from, I think it was Cohen Hess or Sam McIntyre. I can't remember exactly who it was, but South Sydney got an early chance. And Jai Arrow, who played on the right edge there in the back row, he ended up scoring a try. Pretty soft try, in my opinion. I wasn't too pleased with it, but that's footy sometimes. Rabbitohs go to 10-6 after 45 minutes into the game, and this is where we get a little bit controversial, where a lot of people were blowing up on social media. There was a line break. I think Griffin Neame made a line break. He passes the ball to Scott Drinkwater. Drinkwater's about 10 metres on the try line. Jack Whiten tackles Scott Drinkwater from behind, which forces an error out of Scott Drinkwater. But the tackle looks like a hip drop. The bunker get into it. The referee looks at it and turns into a bit of a shit show. And watching it live in the crowd, as you will see in the vlog when I get the vlog out, I thought it was a hip drop watching it live. But then when the game finishes, you go back and watch it. Okay, probably not a hip drop. Jack Whiten gets penalised for the alleged hip drop. Now, watching it live, I thought it was a hip drop because you're in the crowd, you're in the moment, you're very one-eyed at that point of the game. You're not really, you're not really looking at, you're not really thinking about other, the call for the other team, I suppose. And we got a penalty out of it, and it was definitely the wrong decision. Even the coach, Todd Payton, said after the game probably was unlucky, but we had a few of them calls go against us against Penrith last week. As you may remember, the Nathan Cleary line break where he was tackled on the ground, offloaded the ball, and then a couple tackles later, Alan Motti's no try in the corner because his foot was in the touch. That nearly cost us the game last week against Penrith. Now, obviously, South's had a really rough 50-50 call go against them, but sometimes that's just unfortunate with rugby league. And then, obviously, a few minutes later, Cowboys on the attack. There was a nice grubber kick for Sam McIntyre to capitalise in the back row, and McIntyre scores a great try. Very important try, I should say. Conversion was missed. It stays at 10-all, and it's anyone's game at this point. But as a fan of the Cowboys, I could feel the momentum shifting. I could feel us getting on top. And that's exactly what happened with the next try of the game. Jackson Purdue scoring a try. I mean, how good is this kid going? How good is this kid? This kid was a halfback a year ago. Now he's had a full off-season playing in the centres, and he's absolutely on fire at the moment. So really love what I'm saying from Jackson Purdue, one of the best young players in the competition at the moment. Purdue playing great footy, absolute gun, man. So he scores a try. Cowboys go to 16-10. We take the lead. And then once again, Purdue goes over again for a double off a Jack White error. I think South were trying to get out of their own end, but they had an error. And then I think Tamalolo picked it up, threw it to Jackson Purdue. Purdue scored again. That's 4 tries the Cowboys scored in this game on South's right edge. It was very good from the Cowboys. Our left edge is very lethal. And Cowboys go to 22-10. And then obviously the Rabbitohs, man, like I was saying before, the Rabbitohs would not go away. They stayed in this contest. They fought to the end. The Rabbitohs were a friggin' handful all game. They were a tough side, man. Jai Gray ends up scoring a try just on the back of great effort, I guess. A little bit of fatigue from the Cowboys there. Jai Gray scores. Cowboys lead 22-16 with about 8 minutes remaining. Now, I think there was one there. I think they made a line break. I think it might have been Havili. He made a bit of a line break. He threw a pass. There was a knock on. The South was starting to get a bit of momentum, trying to get back into the game. And then with about 5 minutes to go, Sean Kepi Comes out of the line, I think. And yes, Drinkwater is slipping, but you can't deny the contact. Kepi hit Drinkwater right in the head. High shot. Straight to the sin bin for Sean Kepi. Cowboys are 25 metres out. Even if he doesn't get sin bin, the Cowboys are taking the penalty goal there regardless. Drinkwater takes the two. Cowboys 24-16. Free to go. Kepi's in the bin. Souths go for the short kickoff. I think Murray Talangan knocks the ball on. And then there was a knock on from Souths, and that was pretty much the ball game right there. And the Cowboys get a win in Perth, 24 points to 16. A very good win for the Cowboys. Definitely not the greatest performance. I think our first half was really clunky, but we looked like we were the better side, even though Souths wouldn't go away. I thought, for what it was worth, and considering the stadium, it was an oval, not like a rugby league pitch. It was an oval. Pretty good game of footy. Now, I got to say, man, the Cowboys turnaround's been great the last couple of weeks, and I was never really concerned. Like, you go back and watch the podcast a couple of weeks ago, me and Callan. I'm like, all right, you know what? 0-3, not going to panic yet. We've played 3 really good sides. We've got new combinations. Just trying to work it out. Obviously, Manly at Brookvale round 1 was a very, very tough game. Sharks in round 2, another tough game there. Sharks are talked about as a top 4 side. Manly, probably a top 8 side as well. The Broncos, we could have won the Broncos game, but we obviously didn't have the points in that game. Obviously, beat the Raiders, which was great. Beat Penrith last week on the back of grit and defence, where no one really gave us a chance to beat Penrith last week. And then obviously winning in Perth against the Rabbitohs. The fact that the Cowboys won a game in Sydney against Penrith at CommBank, backed it up in Perth, Sydney and Perth away wins, followed by Canberra the previous week at home. I'm very happy with where we're at. We're 3-3 at the moment. We're going into a bye now, which is big for the side to get a nice week off, rest up. The travel's been brutal the last couple of weeks with the Cowboys, traveling all over the shop, man. Townsville to Sydney, staying in Sydney for 4 or 5 days, Sydney to Perth, Perth back to Brisbane. I think that's what they did today. Then back to Townsville. So Cowboys have been doing a lot of travel lately, and to win 3 in a row going into a bye, it's big. And sometimes it just takes a couple of games to get these new combinations in order. So that's just the nature of it sometimes. You may lose your first 2 or 3, but once the combinations gel, you know they're going to be a lot better for the run. So really good win for the Cowboys. Needed that win badly. 3-3, just what you want to see. Now, I know there's a lot of South Sydney supporters out there that are not happy with the refereeing. And look, there were some pretty bad calls. I can't deny it, but we had some bad calls go against us ourselves. So you can't blame the referee for the loss. You lost the game. We were the better team. I think Souths really missed Cody Walker, and I think we just had the better players in the key positions to win the game in the end. But Souths weren't terrible. Like, they weren't very far off. They just sort of fell away at the back end. Now, completion rate was 75% each, which is interesting. Very good stuff there. What was the error count? That's what I want to know, because first half we had a lot of errors. 13 errors each. 6-5 penalty count with the Cowboys. 6 agains were, 2-1 Rabbitohs. 1 sin bin against the Rabbitohs. HIA, I believe that was Jairo from memory that had the HIA. I can't remember. But yeah, really big win for the Cowboys. Needed that badly. Now, the standout players, man. The standout players. Look, we had a lot of good players out there. Jackson Purdy, I'll start with him. Probably my player of the game, to be honest. Probably my player of the game. Purdy was outstanding. He had a blinder of a game. Um, but the thing is, right? Look at the outside backs for the Cowboys. Every single one of them had over 120 run meters. That is huge. If your back five can all get over 100 meters a game, you're going to be in most games or you're going to win most games. Like, it's unbelievable. Drinkwater, 182 run meters. Talangi and Derby, 177 and 155. Purdue, 134. Vilea, 123. Great stuff. Full-time Dearden was outstanding at 5'8". Dearden was great, as he usually is. I thought Reese Robson, who I've been critical of, had probably his best game of the year. Robson was great. I thought Jason Tamalolo was outstanding. 205 metres. He only played 48 minutes. Tamalolo, since coming back from injury, has been enormous. Since that Broncos game, Tamalolo's been fantastic. Good to see him back to his best. Ruben Cotter was great. Had to play about 25 minutes, or actually about 35 minutes in the back row. Looked really good. Made some big defensive tackles there. Kai O'Donnell had some good moments. Sam McIntyre, who was probably the best player on the field against Penrith last week. And again, absolute workhorse. Sam McIntyre, big fan of his work. Love what he did on the weekend. Fantastic performance. Griffin Neame and Cohen has off the bench. Griffin Neame in particular, he had a huge game. 123 run meters. He only played 43 minutes as well. Neame was great. I thought the impact of Cohen Hess was also very good. Jeremiah Nanai, when he come on, he was solid as well. And also, massive rap to Harrison Edwards. I've been very happy with Harrison Edwards' form. He played 22 minutes yesterday, and he had 88 run meters in that short period. And also, the thing I want to note as well, he made 11 tackles, missed 0. And in that game against Penrith last week, Harry Edwards had 30 tackles, missed 0. So Harrison Edwards, I've been very pleased with his performances. He's been doing a great job. He was very unlucky to get dropped when everyone came back from injury. You know, the Tamalolos, the dropping of Jeremiah Nanai, and all that situation. Edwards was the unlucky one, but Edwards has been going good lately, man. Like, that's 43 tackles in a row he's made and missed 0. So really pleased with Harrison Edwards. Obviously, John Bateman was out due to a blood infection. I hope John Bateman's okay. I hope he's back next week. But with the way Harrison Edwards has been playing, what do you do if you're Todd Payton? Because Harrison Edwards has come off the bench the last 2 weeks and he's made 43 tackles and he's missed 0. So and it's a really good headache for Todd Payton and the coaching staff to think about, obviously, for next week, because we have to bye this weekend, for next week when we take on the Titans at home. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. But overall, great performance. Very pleased with the win. Ruben Cotter had the most tackles for us at 42. Mama Zulus for South Sydney had 46. And the run meters, Jai Gray, 237. Tamalolo, 205. Now, my player of the game. All right, I'll give you my top 3 players. 3, 2, 1, with 1 being the best. So, number 3 for me, I'm going to go with Sam McIntyre. I cannot deny his effort. His performances have been fantastic, and McIntyre has just been very consistent lately. So number 3 for me is Sam McIntyre. Number 2 is, I'm going to give it to Jason Tamalolo. Tamalolo was outstanding. He's my number 2. He was unbelievable against Souths. And my player of the game, look, I've got to go Jackson Purdue. The kid's killing it. I love what I'm seeing from him. He's playing great rugby league, and Jackson Purdue is absolutely on fire lately. He was up against Jack White yesterday. It was a good battle, and I thought Purdue held his own quite well. So Jackson Purdy was my player of the game. Now, before I wrap up this review, guys, the vlog. Now, I still haven't gone through it. Like you guys know, look at me. I'm bloody exhausted, man. I'm tired as. The vlog will either be out tomorrow or it'll be out Tuesday morning. I would like to get it out tomorrow night, but we'll see how we go. So, vlog for Rabbitohs Cowboys in Perth, most likely tomorrow night, but if not, definitely Tuesday morning. So, should be a good one. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all. Enjoy your Sunday night. Stay tuned for the vlog. It should be out tomorrow. If not, then definitely Tuesday. I'll keep you guys updated on Instagram. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. Go the Cowboys. Great game. Shout out to South Sydney for a great game of footy. Anyway, see you guys in the next one. Go the Cowboys.